I'm not saying this is a scientific, it's just my own data set.
Yeah.
Ang talino nila, ang dami nilang alam. I would like to put it this way. There's more need for them to discuss issues on mental health.
For entrepreneurs or business leaders who manage multi-generation, do these generations have different wants ba?
Yes, they're practical. They want to make money.
Yeah.
But they also want to find meaning in their work. There's this, they love to job hop. Well, yeah, because that's not really their fault.
Yeah.
That's the privilege that they have.
Hi everyone, this is Jerry Ilao, co-founder of Olern and and welcome sa ating Olern Insights. I'm still with Miss Nikka Santos, a certified leadership and team coach. Ayun, so pinag-usapan natin in the first few segments, yung story ni Coach Nikka and also building a coaching culture for your company and also courageous conversation. So today, for this segment, pag-usapan naman natin ang leading multi-generations na workforce. Kasi ngayon, I draw my, kumbaga, experience and insights from how I was brought up. And when I have employees na different generation, parang nagugulat ako, bakit ganito mag-isip or bakit ganito yung priorities, no? So, especially for Gen Zs, how different ba is Gen Zs from Millennials or kaya sa atin ng mga Gen Xers?
Very different. For one, they're the first digital natives. They were born and the internet was already there, right? So even the way they process information, the way they consume media is very different. And I think the implications of that are huge. Some people call it impatient. I like to say it's them being they like to be effective and quick because that's what they have gotten used to. So sometimes our contribution to them is to actually mentor them or kind of coach them around slowing things down sometimes. So it's very different, right? But us, we have a lot to learn from them. They have a lot to learn from us. And another one of my theories is because they're digital natives, they're exposed to YouTube University.
Yes.
So ang dami nilang, and I have Gen X kids, ang dami nilang alam na at their age, hindi ko alam. Because they're exposed to global knowledge. Right? So, di ba, that's why, like now, I'm not saying this is a scientific, it's just my own data set.
Yeah.
Ang talino nila, ang dami nilang alam. So, but because they are subjective to an onslaught of information. But I think in some way that also contributes to overwhelm and stress on their part. And growing up in social media, the pressure to be like the Kardashians or to be like my Instagram friend who is always traveling and looks perfect all the time. Imagine growing up with that, Jerry. I often used to think, nako, buti na lang nung panahon natin, wala. We can go to a bar and do crazy stuff and we're not
nagre-record.
Walang nagre-record and they'll post it in the internet. Now I can never get a job because imagine that. So yeah, that's why you can imagine how different that would make you.
So are they susceptible ba to parang mga madalas natin naririnig ngayon, mga mental wellness, no? May mga issues, yung iba. So are they more susceptible?
In my experience, I noticed, especially because of the pandemic, a lot of them really had to go through they went through mental health issues because that is a very unnatural thing to go through, no? Being locked up, especially in the Philippines, world's longest lockdown, right? And I think confluence also of social media pressure, online bullying is so much more insidious and painful than face-to-face bullying back in our day, right? Kasi ito, the world can see you being shamed. Imagine the impact of that. Before it was just your school, literally the four walls of your school. So I think the pressure is more, and then the pressure now for them to do well in college, for some reason it's more acute, right? Yung it's just become a more challenging world, a more competitive world. Madaming matalino, madaming magaling. So there's a lot of pressure on them. But what I like though is they're more open to talking about mental health because there's much more knowledge now around mental health, right? So they see that on YouTube, they self-diagnose, so sometimes you have to kind of rein that in or process that with them, right?
Okay.
But I do see that there's more. I guess I would like to put it this way: there's more need for them to discuss issues on mental health.
Okay.
I'd agree. Yeah.
So for for entrepreneurs or business leaders who manage multi-generation, so meron kang boomers, meron kang Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z, do these generations have different wants ba?
That's a good question.
Or priorities? Yan.
Yes, because like a boomer, priority niyan is retirement, diba? Gen X, you're usually the one leading the charge because of your age, right? And because maybe you founded the company, or maybe you're a millennial who founded the company. So, iba din yung pressures mo. The younger ones, they're digital natives. They have a different culture, a different upbringing. So there are marked differences just because they're at different stages in their life. Right? In our 20s, right? We were living paycheck to paycheck because we were just starting out, right? So the boomers were assuming medyo nakaipon na yan, right?
Yeah.
So those differences, they impact the workplace. They do.
Now, how do you, parang ano yung advice mo for, kasi you've been coaching teams, what's your advice for them in terms of managing a multi-generation workforce?
I think this is why it's more important to prioritize people development in your organization, whether you're a multinational or you're an entrepreneur with 10 people on your payroll. You have to make sure that you're listening to everyone and considering that everyone is at a different stage in their life, has different needs, different priorities, and just a different culture, right? Like, iba yung kultura talaga ng Gen Z sa Gen X. But that's actually a good thing because imagine a workplace where everybody is the same, then you're not really enriching anyone. So as an entrepreneur or a leader of a team that's multi-generational, it falls on you to develop a culture of openness, listening, respecting diversity, learning from each other. I think the way I put it is, now more than ever, it's important to develop a learning organization where you are learning from each other. And when you're learning, that means you're listening to each other, you're respecting different perspectives, and then you're having courageous conversations around all these different perspectives. So it's important to make sure your culture is people feel safe to speak out, feel safe to give feedback, and feel ready to take feedback.
Okay. For new managers, maybe Gen X, who manages or hires a Gen Z, ano yung advice mo?
Gen X who will hire a Gen Z.
Yeah, and you hire a Gen Z.
Be ready first to learn from them because they're so good at technology. They are digital natives, so I don't know, my own data set, they are very intuitive around things like social media, content creation. Those tend to be their strengths. So mind them for that. And you need them in your team because they just offer a perspective into this brave new world we're entering. So tap them and ask for their help and listen to them and be more coach-like because that gets them engaged. When they feel like they're part of the team that they're needed, that
Mm-mm.
really gets them engaged.
Mm-mm.
Another thing I noticed with the young ones, diba, actually they're made fun of na, I'm a woke, ganyan. But I respect that about them. Yes, they can take it to the extreme, but the strength I see there is that, yes, they're practical, they want to make money,
Yeah.
but they also want to find meaning in their work.
Mm. Mm.
Whatever your business is, you better have a good message around what makes your business purposeful and meaningful.
Mm.
Because they tend to
Mm.
be activated or energized by purpose.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Kasi pag walang meaning, walang energy eh.
Mm.
Yun yung napapansin ko sa kanila. Kasi there's this, they love to job hop. Well, yeah, because now you can just, during your break, go to the CR and check LinkedIn for a
Yeah.
new job. So
Yeah.
that's not really their fault.
Yeah.
That's the privilege that they have.
Mm.
So you have to double down
Yeah.
on listening to them. What are your career aspirations?
Mm-mm.
What do you find meaningful in your work?
Mm-mm.
And try to align,
Yeah.
right? And kung hindi kayo aligned, then that's not the Gen Z for you, right?
Okay.
Like I was recently working with a company, so they're in logistics. So, nako, the Gen Z, they like work from home.
Yes.
Warehouse kami, tas hindi kami glamorous.
Mm.
Well, maybe your approach is, if you don't hire Gen Zs who want to be TikTokers and want to be glamorous.
Mm.
Hire them if you're able to connect their purpose to the work, right? So, they're Gen Z, so there are differences, but at the core, people, I think we all have similar, there are values that we can align on, whether you have a boomer down to a Gen Z in your workplace. Yung core values.
Yeah.
So as entrepreneurs, another thing that's important to know is yung core values ng business mo. You have to be clear on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so parang tapping into the experiences and also skills nung multi-generation. So I think as an entrepreneur, ganun dapat parang you tap into the inherent skills and experiences of your people. Gusto ko yung yung sinasabi mo na parang the Gen Zs are digital native, so you tap on them, especially ngayon na parang everything's changing, everything is moving into
So
digital,
fast.
etc.
And so fast, no?
And so fast.
Even I
because
get
of AI.
astounded, right? Na parang AI was like this a few months ago. Ngayon, it can do this. Parang, I often tell people, I feel like sometimes I'm living in a sci-fi novel. Because I was old enough na wala pang internet,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah.
So even the internet itself is like sci-fi, if you think about it, diba?
Yeah, back in the old days, yeah.
Oo.
Okay, so yeah, that's our discussion on leading multi-generational workforce, and I hope you've gotten great insights from Coach Nikka. And in our last segment, we'll talk about AI naman, what AI tools that she is using to basically become more productive. And sana will also be able to help you as you explore AI as well. So thank you so much. This is Jerry Ilao, co-founder of Olern and Tarki, and see you in our last episode.